Good morning. Warren County Fiscal Court, Thursday, April 24th, 2025 is now called to order. It's the first time been late in 2.5 years. Sorry about that. But we're going to start our meeting off with the invocation, and we're going to have that today by Magistrate Ron Cummings. That's going to be followed by a pledge to the flag by Magistrate Eric Aldridge.
Pray with me, please. Dear Heavenly Father, Jesus, we come before you this morning with humble hearts, Lord, and gratefulness that what all you've done for us. As we just come out of the Easter season, Lord, we are continuing to remind how powerful and how wonderful and how gracious and wonderful you are, Lord. Lord, take this time that we're going to have here together at Fiscal Court, Lord, to make decisions of Warren County. May you continue to give guidance and wisdom to each and every one of the people on the court. Lord, pray protection over our families. Lord, we give you all honor and glory in all that we do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will our auxiliary clerk please call the roll?
Esquire Williams.
Here.
Esquire McWhorter.
Here.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Esquire Aldridge.
Here.
Esquire Lastly.
Here.
Esquire Cummings.
Here.
All right, first item is approve the minutes of the fiscal court meeting on April 3rd, 2025. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Any corrections? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 5 is approve the personnel changes for Warren County. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Next item is approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
And item 7 is approve resolution 2505 consenting to the Intermodal Transportation Authority, Inc.'s conveyance of .085 acres of real property to the Commonwealth of Kentucky for the use and benefit of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Highways, and partial cancellation of ground leases and contract, lease and options related to real property, and authorize the judge executive to sign all related documents. And our good friend Gaines Penn from ELPO is here today for that.
Good morning, Your Honor, and the rest of the court. This is simply a request from the ITA, as we've done in the past. Whenever we sell any land, we need to obtain your consent and the consent of the city, and this resolution does this. This is a small transaction involving far less than an acre to help with a right-of-way on the Freeport Road expansion.
Great. Any questions on that? Yeah, it's going to be a great thing for Freeport Road. We'll be happy when that's all said and done, that's for sure. Okay. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Other discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to take a, thank you, Gaines. We'll take a short break in our programming here, and we'll have a good friend, Jason Heflin from Crowd South, is going to come up here to talk to you about our, give us a little update on BG Works. Jason?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you all for giving me a few minutes of your time today. Yeah, we wanted to give you guys an update on the program so far. It's up for renewal for another year coming up for next fiscal year, so I thought you guys deserved to see kind of where we were and process that information, ask questions here, ask questions after, set meetings, however you want to go about it. This is the Bowling Green Works program. It is a workforce outreach program in the community. When something's been running for a few years, it starts to accumulate and starts to build some momentum. So we're happy to report that that is happening here. In this dashboard report in front of you, you're going to see the top number there is the hiring rate. On the right, you'll see the current 2025 hiring rate. And what that number is essentially a percentage of how many people are being hired for every 100 applications that are being sent to employers. So 25.5% is the current rate there. And we poll the employers that are participating in the program to get that number. Currently, there are 100 and, well, this is just a few weeks outdated with the data, so it's about 170 employers at this time participating in that program. Total applications sent since the program started is about 23,000, 22,993 there. Applications in March were 853. Total jobs filled, 5,863, and that's just a math problem with using the hiring rate and the total applications sent. And the hiring rate changes, so we recalculate that every year. So it's a formula using the old rates as well for the previous years. Average jobs filled every month is 172. I had mentioned earlier the number of employers that are participating was 166 at the end of March. And then the percentage of applicants using an attachment to upload resumes. That was a question from our friend Jeff Meisel over at the city. He was curious what some indicators were on how deeply they were using it. In other words, were they just hitting the apply button and putting their name and email and contact information, or were they taking the time to fill out or upload their resume? And it was 60% used the resume feature, which I thought was an interesting data point. You're going to see top 20 employers receiving applications. This is just in 2025 so far. So it kind of shows an indication both of interest and demand, but also in employers that are kind of working the tool, using the system. The ones who use it get much more out of it, obviously. You can see the number one there is Fruit of the Loom, then Bendix, Bowling Green Warehousing, Graves Gilbert Clinic, Country Oven Bakery, and so forth. So it's a good mix of, I think different types of jobs. Manufacturing is roughly half of the employers using the site, but outside of that, there are a lot of professional businesses using the organization. There's a lot of logistics companies using it, and yeah, we're still seeing high activity. Obviously, like I said, momentum continues to happen over time. I also wanted to give you a quick update. There, outside of just the campaign that we're running for this program, we also do other things that kind of don't really fit into the work or the contract that we just feel are important. So I met this week with the director of the statewide workforce initiative. It's a task force made up of several people across the state who are working toward some new ideas. They were interested in Bowling Green Works, so I thought that was a good indicator that we're doing something different down here. And that was actually the message, like, what are you guys doing down there? How are you guys kind of being successful amid all the growth? So I was able to point out the work our workforce board does, our partnerships with the city and county, the Chamber of Commerce to get all this done. We're also in the early stages of working with the Chamber of Commerce on helping them promote training and opportunities for teens. So we're talking about how we can use the Bowling Green Works program to do that. And then also tomorrow I'll be going up to WKU and speaking to a group of alumni about two different topics, different groups of alumni, some employers and how they can use the site and the program, and then also some alumni that might be interested in relocating to Warren County and explaining how they can find employment here. So those are just some ancillary things we're doing around the program that aren't in these hard numbers that I think still have a solid impact. What questions do you guys have, or how can I help you guys with this?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
How do other employers get involved? You said you had 170 or so participating right now.
Yes.
What's the process for, mainstream? I know we focus on sometimes, manufacturing and whatever, but can a normal business in Bowling Green, get on there and be part of that too? And how would they do that?
That's a great question. I'm glad to be able to talk about that here on a microphone where people can hear. But yes, anyone from 1 employee to 10,000 employees. This isn't designed for the large employers. It's designed for everyone. So, and everyone's using it. So yeah, I would encourage anyone to go on there and use it. It's an easy sign-up process. It takes literally less than 5 minutes. You basically create a profile like you would almost on a social media website. You have the opportunity to talk about your mission, vision, values as a company, what you pay, the types of positions that you have open at any given time. And then you can update it as frequently as you want. There's no limitation. So if you wanted, you could go update it every week. And we do have employers that update it regularly to, take off positions that maybe they're not going to be hiring for right now, or, update their pay, benefits. The more information an employer puts in, the more productive they can be, because the candidate can see everything about the company. And then we track those applications through when they click that application button. And instead of pushing them off to all these other websites for each employer's intake, we take the application right there, like a short form application, then we send it to the employer. So they get regular automated messages from the program daily. So yeah, great question. Anything else?
I think it's been an important part, Jason. It's just one of the toolboxes. We're going to hear from John and Brian in a second, but it's just one of our opportunities that we have to help people find careers and find jobs, but most importantly, to help our employers connect with people in this region. There's always kinds of national websites you can go to and things. Who knows how much they're opened up and how much they're updated. This is a current, here we are, and if you want to, and if you haven't been to it here lately, you should go to it at bowlinggreenworks.com. The search function is amazing. You can say, here's what I'd like to do, and it'll tell you the ones, and by one click and whatever, after you do the work, as Jason said, you're able to apply for 6 or 7 different positions rather than go individually to each employer and try to find that. And so it's good. And so the employees that we have, Jason talked about 170 of them, they've been very pleased with it, because it streamlines them getting that. They're not getting, no offense, they're not getting someone from California who's sending out just thousands of emails all across the country. That while they can do that, sometimes those aren't really great results. This is a local initiative that we've done and had good success with, and really, Jason, the 25% is pretty impressive. That we can, and it has taken us some time to ramp up to that.
It is
a lot of hard work, but we've gotten there, and so we appreciate the hard work on that. So
Thank you. You mentioned, I'll add one more thing. You did mention our Friends at the Workforce Board, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our partnership. We were working this week together, communicating on a closure. So they'll notify me when a company is going to be laying some people off. We take that information. We obviously give them everything they need to use Bowling Green Works, but we also will run outreach campaigns toward those people to say, remember, Bowling Green Works is here for you as you go through this. So they've been really good about notifying us when those things happen. They have a lot of great programs to come into the facilities and say, hey, we're going to help you get these people hired. You can also use Bowling Green Works, and then that's when they kind of make it to us. So I do appreciate that partnership as well.
great.
All right. Well, thank you all.
Thank you,
I encourage
Jason.
you to reach out to me. I'm happy to talk about this anytime.
Great.
All right.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to talk a little about New American Navigator program. We've got John Swords and Brian Becker's here with us today. Is Brian speaking, or is he just driving you around today?
Yes, both.
Okay, good. Oh, that's right.
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here. We were last here in December when we provided an update on our New American Navigator role that you guys have generously funded. And at that point in time, we provided a lot of numbers and data on that program. We're back today to make a humble ask that we can continue this program through the co-funding that happens between Warren County Fiscal Court and the City of Bowling Green. A couple general observations before I turn it over to Brian and give him an opportunity to speak. He's the home run hitter. Let me just say, in 2025, it is not easy to get a job. It's not easy to navigate how to get a job. Jason and I did not coordinate our comments, but it's very difficult if you haven't looked for a job online, there's a lot of job sites. And there's a lot to sort through. And you have to navigate through that. And then you pick one and you have to apply, and you have to have I mean, for any job, even jobs that don't require digital proficiency or competency, you have to have a computer, you have to know how to use a website, you have to be, you have to go through an application process, you generally have to have an email, you're probably going to have to do a two-factor authentication. It is easier to do, if you're going to go to a medical appointment and do all the online things you have to do prior to a medical appointment, that's easier than applying for some of the jobs that we've got today. It's difficult. Now imagine trying to do that if you don't speak English very well, or if you're new to this country and you don't understand how U.S. processes and procedures work. That's just one of the challenge that our immigrants and refugees face, and that's a challenge that over the last couple of years, through the funding that you guys have provided and the hands-on staff that we have, we've been able to help them overcome. And we've had tremendous success. And really, again, it doesn't happen without money, and it doesn't happen without that personal touch. What I've come to learn in workforce overall, and it doesn't matter whether you're a new American, you're native-born Kentuckian, it doesn't matter whether you're right out of high school, a military veteran, somebody coming out of a recovery center. Even in today's day and age, it still takes, a lot of people still need that personal help and assistance. You cannot overcome it with technology. People need to be given confidence. They need to be shown how to navigate some of these systems to get over the hump and get into the workplace. So as a workforce board, we put a premium on having staff members assigned to each one of these demographic groups to help them overcome the challenges that are specific. So new Americans have specific challenges, veterans, people in recovery, high school students, they all have very specific challenges that need to be overcome, and we try to put staff against those, each one of those demographic groups, and that's proved to be very successful. At this point in time, I'll turn it over to Brian, and then we'll entertain any questions, and then we do want to talk about a youth program that we've got, just for your awareness.
Yes, good morning, and thank you, Judge, magistrates, for your time. But I want to thank you mostly for your trust. You guys have trusted us with some experimental projects over the years. This one's been very successful. And I love the collaboration that this court does with the city of Bowling Green. I think you guys get a tremendous amount of projects done. You stretch those tax dollars as much as you can, and this is one of those examples of where you have maximized and collaborated with the city to do this. So the city had made a plan back in 2019 on how to be more welcoming, and a need for a position like this was first identified. And several stakeholders, over 120, came together and said, yeah, we need somebody to navigate this space between the employer community and the needs the employers have and the job seekers with this audience. Didn't say where that position would exist, but we were very anxious to have that position exist at our level, where we could have somebody with boots on the ground going out and about and building a relationship, because trust is also important with these communities. They very rarely will trust the government buildings, unfortunately, right? And so we have to be visible, and we can't be tied behind desks as our Kentucky Career Center staff, and God bless them for the tremendous work they do. They're just not able to be mobile positions. These positions are able to be very mobile, and this position has been. So we came in December and said thank you, with an update on the work that happened, and you guys had a copy of just a little 2-page report on some numbers and tallies of things that we were tracking. And we've got a new proposal with a couple of different versions of how we can continue this position to exist. But I will say, we get contacted all across the state, as Jason was mentioning, an opportunity about what's unique and going on. There are not any service providers really in this space except for those that have been serving refugees. So we have the International Center, and the big cities have the refugee resettlement programs. But if you're not a refugee, or if you've been here longer than 5 years, there's not been a public workforce system entity set up, propped up to help them. Conversely, if you have a disability or a health condition, we have an entire team of about 24 staff, about 20 different organizations in this region that help people find jobs. And there's a big amount of people that need that help. Our veteran population, we have 2 specific people working out of our career center that help our veterans. But our limited English new Americans outnumber our veterans in Warren County. And we don't have any specific staff turned on. So you guys are making that happen through this position and helping people get connected. So we've connected with community leaders. We've engaged those employers. We've promoted the job opportunities. Sometimes you have to almost act as an interpreter to help people understand exactly what the conditions are like. And so they'll sit still and actually take a job and be there for a long time and contribute those tax-paying dollars and build a career and those concepts that can be foreign to them as well. But we're just providing that we can continue to provide these employment services and avail the job opportunities to individuals that do need a lot of dedicated help. And as John mentioned with the youth position, we're not asking you for money for that because we were able to get that from the General Assembly. So for the first time, the state of Kentucky has availed workforce dollars directly to the workforce development boards. Youth funding was what was set up, so we have got a position set up and we've got a funding incentive to get our young people encouraged and incentivized to keep a job too, if they're not working right now. So again, we've tried to go where we can to steward these dollars and go outside and always thinking outside the box from what just our government funding is to meet community needs. And this continues to meet that community need tremendously with our youth position and specifically now the New American position. So you guys have funded it. This court has funded it for a year and a half, and we're just asking for that to continue so we can continue to have these tremendous results and impact. So, yeah, any questions?
I think the one thing that's really important about this is, and we talk about different things, but the New Americans, and these are people that are coming to our country but want to assimilate and become Americans, and what a better way to do that than to get a job and then understand what this country's about. And you've done a great job of actually generationally changing a lot of these families' lives because they're able to be a part of the American dream. But they're able to do it with a job, which is one of the most important things in the world. Is let's have a little pride in ourselves by taking care of our families, and so we appreciate the hard work you're doing. That's been a great addition to your whole gamut of things that you do. But the New American program has been fantastic. So,
Brian, you want to talk about the Lightcast report, what it said
What specifically?
about how New Americans have?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's national data saying that the economy, I mean, the amount of people working, it would not have grown at all if it hadn't been for New Americans, people foreign born in the last 5 years, that's really floated it, and kept the economy going. And so getting these people into jobs, having them keep the jobs, we're certainly seeing that locally, but the national data proves that as well. Yes.
okay, good.
Thank you.
All right,
We
any
appreciate the
questions?
opportunity.
Great, thank you guys. Appreciate you coming in. All right, back to number 8. Approve emergency determination amount of $32,832.78 to Stuart Ritchie Service Group for replacement of a water boiler in the jail that was beyond repair. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Accept the quarterly financial reports from Warren County Volunteer Fire Departments, Gott, Smiths Grove, Hadley, Plano, and Alvaton. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 10 is approve the 211 report for March 2025. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 11 is approve determination amount of $4,613.90 to Consolidated Paper Group for the purchase of a floor scrubber for the Justice Center as a state price contract. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 12 is approve the lease with Enterprise Fleet for 2 Ford F-250 trucks for the Special Projects Division for Parks and Rec, not to exceed $1,400 per month each. That's the government contract rate. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 13 is grant authority to advertise for the materials bid for Warren County, which includes 2501 aggregate materials, 2502 emulsified asphalt, 2503 metal drainage pipe, 2504 signs, 2505 gasoline and diesel fuel, 2506 tree trimming, 2507 bituminous asphalt for resurfacing roads, and 2508 sinkhole repairs. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions?
Just noticed we had a new category.
We've got a new category. That's good. Well, they'll be busy with that too, so that's good. Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 14 is approved contract renewal with Granicus totaling $65,189.53 over 3 years for SmartGov permitting and code enforcement software for Public Works. This is the contracted vendor. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lastly. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 15 is approved determination amount of $17,400 to Atlantic Emergency Solutions for a change order for tanker painting and lettering. This is a single source vendor due to a contractual agreement. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 16 is approved determination amount of $39,591 to LADS for the purchase of an ABI field grooming machine for the Parks Department. This is a single source vendor. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lastly. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Our next item is part of being in government during floods, and it's part of the unfortunate thing of trying to juggle things. So approve emergency determination amount of $10,800 to Buck Electric for electrical repairs at Basil Griffin Park caused by flooding as fuse boxes and wiring were completely submerged under the water during our last flood.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 18 is approve Warren County Regional Jail Manual of Policy and Procedure, including new policy revisions. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 19 is approve a resolution 2504 adopting and approving the execution of a county road aid co-op program for fiscal year 25-26 and authorize the judge executive to sign all related documents. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 20 is approve Aramark CPI increase of 3.7% for food service for the jail. This is part of the current food service contract. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lastly. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 21 is approve order 2511, reappointing Derek Olive and Regina Jackson to the Warren County Public Library Board of Trustees. Motion by Squire Lastly, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
So, and I'll just say those two great citizens that serve our community, so we're happy to have both Derek and Regina on that board. Item 22 is approve the receipt for transferring delinquent property tax bills from the sheriff to the county clerk. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 23 is grant authority to advertise for bids for necessary equipment for the 3 newly purchased tankers for the Warren County Fire. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 24 is approved first reading of ordinance 2504, authorizing a lighting agreement between Warren Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation and Carter Crossings Unit 4. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 25 is approved determination in the amount of $24,000 to Reynolds Sealing and Striping for resurfacing and crack repair of the Griffin Park inline hockey rink that was damaged by flooding. This is Purchase Pros pricing.
Judge,
Mr. Gummer?
Judge, I just wanted to clarify on number 26, number 27, number 28, I made an error on the memo submittals. On the actual procurement forms, the price is correct, but on the actual memos, the 3 memos that were submitted were $24,000 for all 3 of the next 3 items on the agenda. In regards to the first, on number 26, the inline hockey rink repair was $21,000 was the correct amount. That should be on the procurement form that was filled out. Then also on these 3 next items, the reason that this is happening is the subsurface of these areas is starting to deteriorate. These are Band-Aids that will kind of fix the areas so that we can have them playable up until we can look at another opportunity and another improvement that we'll submit later on this spring with our capital project plan.
Okay, so for the inline hockey rink, what's that dollar amount?
It's $21,000. Yes, sir.
That's the one we just voted on.
We haven't yet, but that's what we, but it's for the pickleball and for the tennis courts, those are both 24,000?
The number 26 for the resurfacing of the hockey rink, that is $21,000. In regards to number 27 for the restriping and crack repair of the pickleball court, that is
Okay.
67.
Hold on a
Yes,
second.
sir.
It says we had to make a change on the
Yeah.
agenda, so your number might be off. So 25, so for me, item 25 is for the inline hockey, is not item 25, and the inline hockey repair is how much?
21,000.
Item
Yes, ma'am.
26 is for the pickleball courts, and that number is,
67,000.
67,000.
Yes, ma'am.
and then 27, which is the tennis courts.
Yes, sir. That's 24,000. I apologize for the error.
And we have flood insurance. Are we turning that in?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But, so these will definitely, again, here, this is what I talk about with the issues we had at Basil Griffin and some other ones. When we have these floods, thankfully we have insurance for it, but these are things obviously would never be budgeted because we're not planning on replacing. And so we will have to make a claim on all of these, but we'll make sure we're on the same page there. Every one of these will be turned in, plus some other things that we're doing. We probably, I'm going to guess we might be approaching 200 grand worth of damages at the minimum just at parks.
Yes, sir.
So from that, and as you know, Basil Griffin is, some of it's in a floodplain. So we have that insurance, but still when you have electrical boxes under 6 feet of water, 6 feet above the electrical box, there's no chance for that to not, and again, this happens once every 100 years or every 15 years in Warren County, but we keep talking about a 100-year flood, and we had one in 2010 as well. So these are things, but it's also obviously why we carry insurance and why we should never drop our insurance coverage. So, okay. So we'll start over if that's all right.
Yes, sir.
So item 25 is approved determination amount of $21,000 to Reynolds Sealing and Striping for resurfacing and crack repair of the Griffin Park inline hockey rink that was damaged by the flooding, and this is Purchase Pros contract. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussions on that?
One question I've heard him
Yes.
say, I just want to make sure I clarify it. These are continued Band-Aid fixes, or we're going to have some additional cost at some point after that?
So, yes, sir. So Basil Griffin Park, that whole area of the park is 30-plus years old. The subsurface of where the inline hockey rink is, tennis court area, pickleball area, that's all asphalt. There's actually several different layers of surface on all three of those areas. So every flood event that we have, groundwater seepage up through the ground is cracking and degrading the subsurface. My recommendation is that at some point in the future, we have a plan to move the inline hockey rink to another location, make the inline hockey rink surface actual pickleball court surface to add between 12 to 16 pickleball courts. That makes cleanup a lot easier, makes the resealing component a lot easier, and then the surface for the rink itself is unique, and we're putting Band-Aids to allow the kids to play. But ultimately, this is the third time we've had to go through this process, and if we start adding that up over time, we're going to make a recommendation in our capital project plan for the next 3 to 15 years to move that to another location, make some modifications and improvements, and then also anything else that's built at Griffin in certain areas needs to have insulated conduit that's above 10 feet in actual poles. That will eliminate any subsurface flooding that's going to happen, and it's going to alleviate any kind of electrical issues we have in the future. We have gotten in the last 2 flood events, 2010, and then again, there was another minor, I can't remember, but Ronnie can tell you, there was another minor flooding event between 2010 and this one that we were given 2 waivers by a local electrical inspector because we made some Band-Aid fixes, but this go around, it completely submerged panels, boxes, outlets, and it just wasn't safe to use what we had. And I want to thank all the people involved, because that price, in partnerships with local companies and partnerships with different vendors, that price could have been triple what that was submitted. So we appreciate all their support.
So that's a good question, Ron, because we are looking at a longer-term fix, but that's not something that can happen. Obviously, we'll have to sit down with the budget, future budgets, to look at that possibility when Chris submits that master plan of what can happen better there. But
Just to make sure, you said Band-Aid, this at least allow them to continue to play for 3, 4, 5 years? Is that something that we feel like we'll get that kind of return?
Till the next flood event. Every flood event that we're having, we're getting groundwater up, it's cracking from underneath, and there's no real way to completely repair it.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chris? Okay.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
All right, item 26, approved determination amount of $67,000 for rental, sealing, and striping for resurfacing and crack repair of the Griffin Park pickleball courts that were damaged by the flooding. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 27 is approved determination amount of $24,000 for rental, sealing, and striping for resurfacing and crack repair of the Griffin Park tennis courts that were damaged by the flooding. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have our treasurer update us on that insurance claim when all that paperwork and all that is processed. So we'll get an update on all of that when we get finished with all of our paperwork for this last flooding. Item 28 is approve the budget transfers for Warren County. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Item 29 is approve the purchase of property at 2325 Airway Court from KY Corp., Kentucky Corp. LLC in the amount of $1,940,000 even for the future Emergency Operations Center Ronnie is with us today. As many of you know, we've talked about this for quite some time. This is the appraised price of that property out there from Kentucky Core. That's all, we can only pay appraised price, so that's the appraisal that you have in front of you. This is, to me, something significant that this court wants to undertake, is having a standalone emergency operations center. What we did learn in the tornado especially, but even in the last flood, having a facility where emergency management can work out of, but to do other things as well. This gives us, it's a pretty good sized piece of property, gives us a lot of opportunities, but Ronnie is here to discuss a few other items with that about this project before we take a motion on this. Ronnie?
Thank you, Judge. We've been working on this project for quite a while. The importance of the Emergency Operations Center is coordination, and as this city and county has grown to extend, just in the last 10 minutes, I've got a text. We've got a tractor and trailer turned over on I-65, and we've got a ruptured gas main. And these are consistent that our emergencies are growing. This facility is a place for command and control and a joint effort with all the city and county agencies. And it's important, we borrowed, as we've done in the past, rooms, and we interrupt their services and trying to provide their part of the emergencies that's working. And so we have to find a second place, or we sometimes have to find a third place. And these aren't hardened facilities so that we don't have to worry about, in the midst of one disaster, we're having another one. We did receive a grant in particular for this particular one. We got a $3 million grant through hazard mitigation funds through the state that came from the tornado of 2021. And with that and the damage that we had here, we moved up the list and was able to be lucky enough to receive that grant. So it's a long-term process to get here. We had to have a place. So we started looking throughout the city and the county of where would be the most logical place to put a facility of this nature. One of the things that our office works closely with is the state of Kentucky. The National Guard was part of our parent agency. So consistently, if we have a large-scale emergency, we need to fly patients in and out, they'll be right there at the airport. The governor flies in typically there, but we meet at the airport on a regular basis when large-scale disasters happen. So it made sense to try to find something in that area, and this property came up, and it seems to be the best fit for this community. We want to make sure that we're prepared for training and education of our responders and our citizens for the next 50 years. And this is a long-term investment of this facility. I want to thank Fiscal Court and Judge for having foresight of planning for the future. I'm an old guy, probably won't be around, but this is a steady, consistent piece that needs to be there to provide this services for the citizens. And as we excessively grow, so does our agency need to grow. And this is the reason that this place has been chosen.
Ronnie, I got one question for you. Maybe you can explain it to people a little bit better. Can you explain why the EOC is our responsibility at the county level rather than having the city in on it or another organization? What's our purpose of the EOC out there? Why it's got to be us rather than someone else?
There is a law, KRS 39, that puts the responsibility of providing emergency management services on the county. It's not on the cities, but it's on the counties. We work hand in hand with the city. We have for the extended period I've been here. There's a great bunch of responders in both the city and the county, but it is by KRS the responsibility of the county to provide that service.
I have a question. For clarification, you did say, excuse me, that we have received funding for this facility.
We have. We received a $3 million grant. We've already been allocated money that we can use for the design of what type of structure we're going to put there. We do have a deadline, which is July of 26, to try to get this project off and rolling. So we've worked very hard, and since 1996, I went back and looked. And our office has been able to bring back a little over $9 million in grant funding back to the citizens, from safe rooms to sirens to education and training, hazmat response. So a lot of things that we've done, and this is just another venue that the tax dollars of the citizens can be invested back in them.
That's a good question. I think one of our objectives as well is to have a community safe room in conjunction with this facility. We have the room there. It's one more opportunity for us to have a safe room with all the weather environments we've been having there on Airway Court. It is, anyone can take a look at it. It's right, it is adjacent to the airport. It goes right up to the airport. And so it gives us some access. There's some other opportunities that will come our way for this property. And so I will say that, great question, Tom. I think this fiscal court is responsible for emergency management. The Ronnie and the sheriff can attest to during the tornado, when we had a mass scale issue, there was nowhere to go. And we were very thankful that we went to the community room at the police department, Bowling Green. Size of our community, size of our county, that's not acceptable for the future. We have issues, unfortunately, that are going to continue to happen, and since it's our responsibility constitutionally to be in charge of these emergencies, I think this is a great thing. It's really something that is existing building. Walked in here forgetting the number. I think it's 7,000 square feet roughly. There's an existing building there, but it has a very significant large plot of land with it, so other things can be done out there. So we're looking forward to that as well. Plus immediate access to the airport.
Hey, Ronnie, I want to commend you for all the hard work and all the planning you've done, because this is years in the making. Am I right here? We've been working on this for
Yes, we have.
15 years,
We,
20?
at least 20.
There we go. It's a lot of
But I
foresight.
appreciate the compliment, but I've got to say, it's about the partnership of all the agencies. Nikki, Josh, the fire departments, the jail was bringing out cones for us yesterday. We had another person in the water yesterday. We had a possible drowning on Tuesday. So the incidents aren't going to stop. They're going to continue to grow and grow in excessive numbers that Bill's well aware of, that we've been discussing. And I think it's time that we make plans, but the recognition goes to all the men and women that put their life on the line every day, and the team partnership that we have of working everybody. It's just a really great place to be a part of.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
And I know you kind of covered already in your comments and remarks about why this place was chosen, why the proximity to the airport and so forth was chosen. Just to make sure the citizens understand that that area at some point, if we had a natural disaster like earthquake, and that is the staging area for all of Western Kentucky. So this was kind of tied into part of this decision why we picked that particular location. And so
It is,
forth.
and I didn't share that, but Bowling Green is one of the staging areas should the New Madrid Fault actually happen and we have destruction in West Kentucky. All the federal state resources will be coming to Bowling Green, large contingents of National Guard, large contingent of aircraft, possibly up to 200 or 300 aircraft could be landing there, hangars in utilization, the Western Farm, so we will be a hub of activity. So it just made sense to be there and being able to provide those services, not only to the citizens of Warren County, but to South Central Kentucky and to whole for the Commonwealth as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have a motion on that. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Any additional? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Item 30 is approve the lease agreement with Enterprise Fleet Management for 9 2025 Dodge Durangos not to exceed $767.35 per month per vehicle, and 1 2025 Chevy Malibu not to exceed $547.32 per month for 60 months for the Sheriff's Department. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Will the treasurer please report the claims?
General Fund, $2,008,507. Road Fund, $257,684. Jail Fund, $941,684. Stormwater Fund, $85,468. E911 Fund, $14,082. and Fed Forfeiture Fund, $1,036. If you have to answer any questions.
Motion we pay our bills.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Please call the roll.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, sir.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, sir.
Sheriff Hightower?
Judge, magistrates, thank you all. I have just a couple of announcements. One is I just want to announce the Kentucky Sheriff's Boys and Girls Ranch. We're accepting applications for that. That runs for the boys. It's ages 8 through 11, June the 9th through the 12th. And then for girls, it's June the 16th through 19th. So we've got some applications already in for that, but as always, we're trying to make sure we're taking the boys and girls from Warren County over to the ranch as well. Also, although we're not in the game of making much money in the sheriff's office at all, but we're about, taking care of crime and business. And I want to thank the Warren County Drug Task Force for their partnership. And earlier this week, we were able to, we stopped the vehicle and got into the vehicle and recovered 8.6 pounds of methamphetamine, 2 stolen handguns, convicted felons, a lot of other charges like this. But I mean, that was drugs that was coming here to Warren County. And to be able to stop that, last night we made another good arrest on a drug deal of about 23 ounces from some individuals, once again methamphetamine. Earlier this week we were able to stop a vehicle and it was stolen and arrested that person. We helped the city with a stolen motorcycle and in that case. So it's always busy as we see just with Warren County and the growth here. And just, but we're going to do our best efforts. I can tell you, if you're going to commit the crime, then we'll take care of you along with Amy's office and the Commonwealth's office. We'll do what we can. But thank you all for that. Appreciate it. And also we have the Hazardous Waste Day is also the 26th. So this Saturday from 8 to 10 out on Lauren Avery. So that's always a pretty popular event. We have a deputy that'll be out there trying to help manage some of the traffic, but always good for the community. Get rid of it. I'd rather have it as we all would out there than in a trash can or in a landfill someplace else. So, pending any questions, thank you all very much. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thanks, Sheriff. Again, those things that Sheriff just highlighted, it's sometimes easy to be in our bubble and have the benefits and a great life and great people around here. But the things we don't talk about very often are the things that are actually going on behind the scenes. And take a look at the sheriff's Facebook page to see the pictures of what they uncovered. It's troubling, and it should be troubling to everyone. So thanks to the deputies for the hard work. Just sworn a new deputy today, so we have new people joining the force, which is great, but we'll take a look at that. But thanks for the hard work there for sure. Ms. Yates?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Jailer?
Thank you, Judge.
Happy birthday to Susan. I saw Jailer Harmon out last night. He had like 20 people there buying their dinner. It was good, Jailer. Good job. Very effective. All right. Where was that? Oh, that's right. None of you were invited, so that's good. So, all right. Chris? Thank you, buddy. Josh? All good? I think Nikki had to go to a meeting there. Holly? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you so much. Ronnie?
Just a quick note, Judge, over to Cheryl and everybody. We had a meeting this morning with Mitch McConnell's field rep. We are pursuing action with FEMA for the residents in Bowling Green that have had damages from the flood. We're not getting a lot of movement. I did find out that we are in mid-queue along with 14 other states awaiting a presidential sign for the declaration.
Yes.
So we're trying to make plans. I think Josh could extensively talk about, we're tracking 80 sinkholes, both in the city countywide that's happening since this event and probably more to come. But I wanted to let fiscal court know that we are pursuing this as hard as we can to get that declaration from the president. And if you get an opportunity to speak to any of your Senate and representative contingent, please encourage them to help us along.
Hey, Ronnie, we've had a FEMA office open here. We've had a place open here that I understand is closing tomorrow.
No,
The resource center out at Buchanan Park?
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Is
we
that
did.
closing down tomorrow?
It was open for about a week and a half, maybe. Unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of response from the community. Out of the 5 or 6 days it was open, we only seen about 20 residents. We put a lot of manpower hours into it, but we're still utilizing everybody that has a service that they need or want. Dial 211, and Debbie and them will happily direct them to any place that they need, including our office.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I think to Ronnie's point, we are waiting. I don't mind, we're a little surprised right now we have not had this presidential declaration of a disaster. We have met all the criteria, so I'm sure it's in the process. But before that happens, then there is no real help from FEMA. We have to have that, and so that's the next step. And so we're very aware and very understanding of, there's obviously some homeowners that had water up in their crawl space, maybe they didn't get water in the house. However, their HVAC system's in there. Next thing you know, they're out $12,000. We are trying to do everything we can. What happened, the next step has to be this presidential declaration, and that is what we need to have happen. So I would encourage any member, but that is what our elected federal officials are there for. Contact them so that we can try to be up in that. But as Ronnie said, there's 14 states in a similar position waiting. I have no answers for that. I hope it's coming, but don't have no information one way or the other, but that's what needs to happen. So be on the lookout for that as well. Thank you. Ben? He just left. He had to go to the EOC meeting. All right, great. Mr. Markram? All good. Bill?
Good morning, everyone. I'll be brief. I just wanted to update everybody on the storm response. We had approximately 22 water rescue incidents during the response. All those calls were covered. We had 2 notable incidents that Mr. Pearson mentioned. One was yesterday and one was on Friday evening. 2 Warren County citizens were instrumental in removing trapped occupants, and it's our hope to recognize them in the future. And then one more fiscal update would be we were notified that the Alvaton engine that was struck on I-65 will likely be totaled. And we're working through that process now with the insurance folks and the adjusters to figure out what the next steps will be. But the volunteers in the system continue to meet the challenge, and they're doing a wonderful job of doing so.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Squire McWhirter?
It's all good, sir.
Thank you, buddy. Good to see you. Squire Alders?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I ain't getting so lucky here, buddy.
Squire Cummings?
First of all,
I'll
reminder,
play
tonight
it.
at 4:30, the kickoff for the Realtors Hope for Hunger event starts tonight. If any of y'all want to come out to that, it's at the Farmers Bank out in Scottsville next to the post office.
First Bank. First Bank.
4:30?
Yep, First Bank.
First Bank, right, they changed from that. Right, First Bank, excuse me. Next Saturday, next Saturday, May 3rd, Plano Fire Department's having their annual spaghetti dinner. It's a big fundraiser for them. Starts at 4 o'clock and it goes to about 8. So come out for that event. It's a good thing. Second reminder, because we are moved to Operation Anvil, is now going to be Memorial Day weekend. And I appreciate all the guys' participation before. It's going to be a bigger event than even last year. As of May 24th, that Saturday morning, battles at 10 and 2 with the veteran ceremony at 11. So if you know a veteran, please send them out there to get recognized and have a really nice medal ceremony for them. And we're excited. This is our 7th year having that event, and definitely the most unique event in Bowling Green and Warren County. I want to say 2 personal notes. Jackson Cummings, my 20-year-old grandson's birthday is today, so he turned 20 years old today. Very proud of him and all he's accomplished. And I want to congratulate you, Judge, for something. I appreciate the fact you cross-train people so well that we have Deputy Judge Brian Downing today to be able to be the clerk. But, and again, for those of us, sometimes unseen, all the leadership qualities that you possess to get all the other people to come in and step up in matters of grave and national security and emergency issues, I want to thank you for having him prepared.
Thank you, Ron. He stayed up till midnight last night learning all your names, so that was good. So, Squire Williams.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Squire Lawrence.
Well, I think Brian did a good job too, but Crystal's my favorite though. She's in here doing a better job than Brian. I can't help it.
That's
I'm sorry
fair.
about that.
That's fair. That's all right.
But that's all there is to it. You said my name right, that's all.
That's right.
I love it.
Squire Lashley.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much. Mr. Treasurer?
Thank you, Judge.
All good. Ms. Chandler?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Clerk, what are you today? You're the...
Whatever you want to call me. I'm just glad you
Brian,
called me
great job.
auxiliary and not B team. That sounds a lot better.
Yeah,
So,
rather than B
thank
team. You
for
moved
that.
up after you're passed the test, but yes, Brian?
Now, I just wanted to say thanks to Ronnie and his team, Sheriff, Josh and Nikki are gone, but their response during that flood, as they set up that EOC to respond, I know you were there most of it, basically all of it, and as well, but to see everybody come together, our nonprofits in the community as well, to try to help people out while we're waiting for the federal declaration, it was just an awesome thing to see, so thank you all.
Thank you, buddy. I think one thing that I think it's true, sometimes people don't like to hear it, but I mean, maybe you shouldn't judge people, but I mean, sometimes do, but always, the saying is always, don't ever judge someone in good times. Put a little heat on them and you'll see what they're about. And one thing that I'll say about the people that work with Warren County is when there's heat on them, you really find out what their true character is about. And each one of these department heads, they step up to the plate and they do the things, and all of their employees do as well. It really is a very humbling thing to work with each and every one of them, for sure. Earlier this week, we had a pre-bid meeting out at Sugar Maple Square with seven potential bidders for the remodel at Sugar Maple Square. Those that'll be sometime next week, and construction will start June 1st on that as well. And so we're really looking forward to that. We'll have something to celebrate here at the end of the year for sure. They'll get moving on that very quickly about those plans. So we're excited about that. Any other discussion or anything want to be said? Perfect. Our next meeting of fiscal court is Thursday, May 8th at 9 a.m. We will have a bricklaying in our Veterans Courtyard that morning at 8 in the morning on May 8th. But that being said, we have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Squire Lawrence. We are adjourned.